The young pilot's dream. 3-year-old Oliver began describing cockpit instruments, engine roars, flashing gauges, and nightmares of fiery altitude. His parents found no logical source, no toy planes, no movies. Over time, Oliver identified specific aircraft types, airfields he'd never visited, and even named fellow crew members. Investigations revealed a World War II pilot named Oliver Byrne, whose plane was lost over the very airfield young Oliver referred to. The parallels are uncanny, raising the question, could memories transcend physical death? The twin girls of Kyoto. In post-war Japan, twin sisters Aiko and Airi began to speak of two older siblings who perished in an accident before their birth. They asked for items those siblings once used, a red lacquered comb, a silk handkerchief. They visited the old family home and cried, distraught, at specific rooms. Photos later confirmed those belonged to their lost sisters. Their knowledge was not taught. It was remembered. An American woman's awakening. When mid-30s librarian Helen awoke from a sudden fever, she spoke only in broken Portuguese, not English. She described her home in São Paulo, a husband named Ricardo, children, routines. Despite no prior learning of the language, she answered questions, recalled recipes, and described the neighborhood. Days later, she reverted, but her prior speech remains documented. Could fragments of identity survive illness? A battlefield's emotional echo. Canadian historian Mark visited the Somme battlefield and was overwhelmed with emotion, sadness, anger, nostalgia for events 5 decades earlier. Despite no prior connection to that era, he began dreaming of barbed wire and trenches. He hired a handwriting expert to compare his journals with a World War I soldier's letters. The surviving letters, with strikingly similar handwriting, left him stunned. The more he investigated, the more he found bodily scars on himself that matched bullet fracture injuries described in the letters. The mystery of the Scottish island. At age 2, little Fiona from Glasgow started speaking about a remote island she'd never visited, far northwest, with a lone lighthouse and swirling seas. She described a small cottage, a narrow pier, and a man named Robert. Later, her parents discovered the Isle of Mull. They visited, and Fiona recognized the cottage and called out, "Daddy Robert." Locals were astonished. No tourists, no filming had taken place there. She had memories of a place she could move her feet upon. The silent agent speaks. Retired advertising executive Charles had no interest in history, but one afternoon began to sketch scenes from an ancient Greek marketplace. He named places. Agora of Athens, Nix Hill, described religious rituals in exquisite detail. Historians confirmed the scenes were accurate, dating from 5 centuries BCE. For months, his dream visions continued. Did he tap into a well of collective memory, or something more personal? Twin oracle in Lebanon. Bashir and Hassan, twin boys born in northern Lebanon, pointed to a hillside and asked to dig. Their grandmother followed their gaze and uncovered 2 urns containing ashes. The boys named those remains, recited family lineage, and described burial proceedings. Villagers confirmed that 2 boys had been buried there 60 years earlier. 2 voices sharing one past, an eerie blending of identity, reliving the RAF tragedy. 8-year-old Sophie began drawing Spitfires crashing, fire trailing across a runway. At school, she asked history teachers about a particular airfield, RAF Lakenheath, which she hadn't studied. She later recounted a last-minute attempt to steer the plane clear of a village. A veteran research group verified a crash in '44, matching her story. Her emotional descriptions, with screams, engine noise, and smell of gasoline, felt terrifyingly real. Lama's rebirth. In Tibet, 2-year-old Tulku spontaneously recognized possessions belonging to a high-ranking lama who recently passed. He picked a specific rosary, pointed out jewel-inlaid robes, identified monks he had known. Without teaching, he reproduced chants and rituals. Local senior monks conducted tests, presenting an array of items, asking questions only the Lama would know. Tulku answered convincingly. He was reinstated as the reincarnation. The child of Delhi, 5-year-old Priya, claimed she had another home in Mathura and parents in a different name. She spoke of dying in childbirth at age 32 and recounted intimate details of her former husband and his work. A local committee investigated and confirmed her statements matched a woman who died 4 years earlier. Priya's calm certainty, frightened outbursts, and precise naming left witnesses stunned.